No, and as you're gonna be joining therefore into Lagoon, let's see if the players are a bit better acquainted with what the meta for this map usually requires. And that means you don't want to be overcommitted into the middle, because if you're gonna be doing that as yesterday freaking ended, then you just can't transplant the boats to the outside, and you might be having some issues with that. So kind of like careful fight here, because still the fish might be somewhat important, but you in general want to be really fighting a lot more on the outskirts. And we'll see if either Mununez or young Panda are gonna be aware of that, and to what kind of degree. For the Civilisations, Mununez is gonna be choosing Dravidians. Okay, that's actually the same as freaking Andy yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I'm fairly certain he was also choosing that. And young Panda is gonna be playing Romans, actually. Interesting. Interesting again. I mean, like, he's gonna be having the better armor. The Romans maybe are gonna be interesting. No, we'll have to see if it's gonna be really useful or not. But definitely have seen them already used, even in one of the previous matches also yesterday. The Romans therefore are somewhat popular. So we'll see if there's gonna be a good reason for that. It's gonna be like literally my second game that I'm gonna be casting in Age of Empires 2 the Romans, because obviously in the tournaments around the launch they weren't allowed there yet. So we'll see if they're gonna be making some kind of good sense in the addition to this game and to this map. As for the resources, there's usually not much actual importance to where they are positioned. That seems like the gold, for example, here for Mununez is gonna be in one of the safer spots that you can actually get here. Because obviously you do have all those mangroves and shallows everywhere. So the boats can go practically in all kinds of places. And you can therefore utilize to a certain degree also demo ships. They are something not to be underestimating. But well, in general, if you're gonna be having fire ships, they're gonna be somewhat immune to the TC fire as well. So you can kinda see where this is gonna be leading. Because in general the map, unless you have some freak spawns, which sometimes happen, you are gonna be basically connected all around. There's gonna be always some channel. But there is of course a possibility to wall it off, since you can build on it as well. So just usually good idea is to be preparing some kind of at minimum palisades. Mostly people are gonna be preparing stone walls, because boats are not gonna be having with their DPS that much of a high problem getting through palisade. So typically, for example, this you would be wanting to wall off potentially the top side as well, of course, so that nobody can be going all across and all around, and then have some kind of fun on the water. And usually some kind of maybe faster or kind of faster, bigger gameplay is gonna be following in the castle age, and then of course forward and plus. Forward and plus from there. Okay, so far 15-14 villages. That's already a bit of an interesting difference here. Do we have right now the water? We do have a dock already prepared for both Mununez and, oh well, I was going to say Panda as well. But so far Panda is gonna be ignoring the mid. And we have definitely also on this map seen builds like that, that basically player is gonna be completely ignoring the middle, which usually should be providing somewhat of a faster advance into feudal age. But then of course, you need to be somewhat quick to get some kind of presence, because you're still gonna be wanting to drop a dock somewhere here and then go all across and all around and hope to be maybe surprising the opponent that way. Because otherwise, if you don't, then he's obviously going to be having free food from the water, right? So you better be having a direct plan, which you want to be doing. And yes, the demo ships, they cannot do play a role, but not necessarily as much of it as you could be thinking. Usually the water fights here happen through normal boats, a lot more. And it's of course very important. You might be scouting and starting rather with fire ships, but you shouldn't be underestimating galleys and galleons either, because then you can be having quite an easy shooting onto practically all those little islands from the different positions, castle plus. So you don't want to be really relying just only on the fire ships. Because of course, as the longer the game is gonna be going, the more you're gonna be cutting in, so therefore potentially some safer TC from all the fire ships, and yeah, well, there are some kind of consequences, but start on fire ships is not really that much of a bad idea. I mean, like at the start, usually you're gonna be using the fire ships just to get in some kind of proper control, because you do have wood lines. I mean, like trees are on the islands, but always you're gonna be having gold and stone that's gonna be on the water. So from that point of view, you really do want to be having the starting fishes and basically blocking the gold probably the most of all at the very start. But yes, definitely galleys are also quite a good option. Yeah, for the galleys, really the Romans are making somewhat of a sense. Seems like it's gonna be the play for Panda. You can see he's right now advancing at the same time as Mununez, as you're gonna be having 22-19 on the Willies, so 3 fishing boats available for Mununez with absolutely nothing for Panda. So far it doesn't seem, or actually it seems that he will commit to the second dock, but is he therefore aware that Panda is ignoring the water? He's still gonna be wanting to make like some kind of starting boat, I guess. But so far he's basically like instantly assuming that Panda is playing it, and he's gonna be wrong. He's gonna be very much wrong. So before he's gonna be discovering that, he's gonna be instantaneously clicking, and even a third dock coming up. And yeah, seems to me that actually Mununez is falling into the same trap as freaking Andy yesterday. Not entirely knowing the meta fully. You can see he's gonna be blocking the pathing quite nicely on Panda. Of course, some further wall in. And did he therefore scout that? Yeah, this is kind of like manual switching between the players sucks. Okay, he at least knows about that, so he knows to possibly drop a few walls in there. A third dock. Wait, what? Why is he even just building a third dock in there? You should be able just to kind of like straight stone wall across this. Unless something changed. Fairly certain you can drop some walls and gates around it. And on it. I mean, like, you can just build absolutely everything there, so there's no reason not to do that. But, well, nonetheless, he's gonna be choosing right about now this option. And, of course, as you can see, he's gonna be going for immediate control of the land. You can see it's gonna be a first boat coming forward. And, ooh, Mununez actually going for a barracks. He's gonna be, of course, right now immediately surprised that nobody's right now fighting him. At least he managed to. He managed to kind of like avoid building too many of them. As the scout was moving around, he apparently had enough information not to be actually producing too many of them. So I'm happy for that. He obviously overproduced the docks in there, so that's a bit of a shame. But nonetheless, at least he kind of didn't enter into the land of no return. Yeah, kind of the positioning of the docks from Panda are... It's a bit strange in there, what he produced. I'm not entirely certain why he actually did it that way. But whatever the case, defensive tower certainly needed on the gold. I mean, like, imagine if he had... if he actually had prepared a demo ship, right, with that, but nonetheless Roman. So, not gonna be having that, unfortunately, which is quite a bit of a shame. Really, the demo ships are excellent for this map. So while I can understand right now the bonus that he wants to be having from the galleys, yeah, I'm thinking that the demo ships might be a bit more important, because in the early feudal age they do a service. As the game kind of proceeds further, then the demo ships are a bit less important, but here at the start, when you have basically little defenses, then you can usually actually get in some nice explosion on the berry gatherers, the gold miners, whatever along those lines. You might be having some good time there. Fletchy not in play for Panda. Is he finally having some dock? So far not. Is he trying to get Castle Age? Or what is going on with Mununez? Yeah, he's actually trying to get Castle. That's only geese, in case you were wondering what actually the blue dots were on the minimap. But he's, I'm thinking, playing quite a bit of a risky game here. Not having the docks yet. No. So we can definitely say those woodies are not gonna be in the safest of positions. And he's still going for a market so that he can be getting the castle age. Could have been potentially casting already before. You can see 7,500 gold. So he's gonna be a bit delayed here. Looking at the release, 28 for Young Panda, 41 for Mununez. So he's gonna be quite a bit compensating, as you can... Oh well, so many fishing boats. And he did create actually some extra galleys. So probably just the whole first squad did get made. I just kinda didn't see them properly a bit earlier. But like, why not dock? Why is he actually insisting on the towers here? I mean, like, you probably don't have to be necessarily going for the boats to control the outskirts, but nonetheless, it's usually kind of the easier way to do it. That no fletching really kind of hurts him. That he can be getting some better shots and easier shots a bit earlier. For example, in the process of the tower building here. So if you're gonna be switching into Young Panda, you can see the castle age is gonna be also quite a bit far away still. So tons of boats ready. And how is he gonna be trying to counter them? Simply getting mangonels. I mean, like, if you have fire ships, then you can theoretically convert them pretty easily. So Monk's play is making sense, but against these guys, it's a bit harder. I mean, like, you're gonna be having quite an advantage on the range, sure. But I'm still kinda not liking it that extremely much. And like, he literally refuses to build the dock here. I have no idea why. Should be also right now splitting, of course, the fishing boats on a bit more targets, so they are not gonna be blocking each other on the pathfinding back home. And all those standard and all things. And look at that. Actually, Young Panda is gonna be trying to join in. Luckily, Mununez is scouting well, but at least it's gonna be forcing him to like focus here as well. So I'm thinking that's basically just Panda trying to find a way how to kind of get himself into a position where maybe Mununez could be making some kind of mistake, possibly. Who knows? We'll have a look at that in a moment. And we'll have the result of it as well. As you can see, switching even into 5 ships. But finally some dogs here. Maybe just gonna occur to me, well, probably not gonna be able to manage it through the land, so let's gonna make a few boats. And probably could be even sinking in just a few demo ships. And wait for Young Panda to be maybe not paying attention. Because that can happen. Because currently Panda is readying himself to be fighting basically at 2 fronts at once. So if Mununez is gonna be possibly having some important kind of extra APM maybe. Should be thinking that he should be having that. And possibly he could be finding himself some target like that. But nonetheless, as you have seen right now, this is gonna be the first fire ship coming forward. Castle Age for Young Panda is luckily not gonna be taking that long, but unfortunately it's still gonna be resulting exactly what I mentioned, right? Panda couldn't be paying attention everywhere. As in the end, seems like it's not gonna be too different from Mununez. Losing some further villas and, well, 32 each. And Mununez was having like 10 more villages some minutes ago. And suddenly we are in the same situation. As you can see, this is gonna be, though, I think very well played by Panda. Because while he does have a few boats here, I don't think he needs to be committing that much. And he's already forcing Mununez to brutally overcommit. Look at how many boats he's actually making here. So maybe he just could have scared him, put up the flag in there, and it could have been enough. So I'm thinking this actually did serve its purpose for Panda. Think it did. Unfortunately though, everything else is gonna be apparently already fixed. As far as the protection of Mununez's base, and yeah, that's where the GG is gonna be already coming. As he's seeing that the opportunity has already been right now lost for him. And while he is gonna be in the next stage as well, you can see the demo ships coming forward for Mununez. Getting ready for here. Let's have a look. Yeah, okay. He was already getting ready to, of course, breach into the enemy base and have some explosions against the vills. Yeah, the fishing at the start, in my opinion, is a good idea. Usually kind of like in the advanced stages of the previous tournaments where Lagoon was played, then usually people went for the middle for starting, I don't know, 4 or 5 fishing boats, or 3, 4 usually it's kinda. But not everybody would be fighting at all. Like, commonly nobody would be fighting the middle whatsoever. Or maximum they would be just gonna making few 5 ships and God bless and something's gonna happen. And usually not even kind of fighting for it to even win it. And they would be very quickly going into the outside. I'm really thinking that the outside control is way more important here. Way more important indeed. But nonetheless, that's gonna be there for already game and match and decided where Mununez is gonna be winning 2-0. Come on, can I click actually on the number to order it properly? And he's gonna be advancing into round of 16, which is already going to be the double elimination part of the Blue Carbon Cup by Coyotl, and also with Watermelon helping him out, and of course also thanks to all the map creators from all across the community that have provided these maps. Alright, so Dravidian, you can see gonna be having Bowsaw and Botkin Arrow to begin with. Nothing really too much more in that he needed. As you can see now, the Roman is gonna be currently having just the first wood, and I'm really thinking that with the Romans, the problem is you're just gonna be missing the demo ships. As I mentioned, they really are important in the early feudal. They do play a role, and you can be getting there usually some kind of good catches here. For example, before the towers are up, you can just kind of like threaten the opponent with charging in. He has to run, and if he doesn't, just like immediately 4 villages down, for example. So yeah, that way it can be fairly easy. No, and I guess let's have a look forward and further. 34 villages. That was quite a massacre there for Mununez though, considering how much ahead he was a few minutes ago. 10 and 2 for Panda, as far as the military only. He was at the 2, Mununez at 10. But that's actually mostly because he's having plenty boats in the middle. You can see he's having 8 here. I'm actually frankly entirely certain why Panda is resigning now. He's kinda seeing the difference in the score. But the middle, I'm kinda thinking what he did there was actually fine. Didn't cost him. I'm thinking that was a plus in the end. That he probably forced Mununez to invest a lot more than he did. I don't think this was the reason to resign actually yet. I'm probably thinking that he didn't entirely realize that he was in a better position than maybe the score could be telling him. Not sure. But well, decision has been made. Well, that's 19 units killed and lost actually both. As on the economy, there is going to be 1800, 1200, so it's going to be 600 through bottom, 11 without 4, so 700 resources more for Mununez. That's not too bad. Something to start with at 22 minutes, sure. But again, I think that was still a bit of a play for Panda to be had here. But maybe he already had something else to do. As I guess Mununez stabilized a bit, so young Panda just didn't see that he would be having second chance on doing some shenanigans in the blue base. So congratulations again to Mununez on his victory in the round of 32 of Blue Carbon Cup, hosted by Coyotl and Watermelon, and of course all the map creators. And good luck in the further progress of the tournament in the double elimination part. Now, young Panda, nice to be seeing his actually prepared attempts. First on Okavango, that was the name of the map. Gonna have to really just gonna remember those again. And here on Lagoon also did have some nice plan, but Mununez was able to get from the almost bits of hell, especially in the first game. So his quality definitely shone through. So good luck in further tournaments to Panda, and I guess GG.